There are those that just want to be left alone, and those that just won't leave them alone. Which one are you? The Ernest Hancock Show.
We got some more news that I want to keep you up on a little bit, and we'll go over some of this stuff. There is one of the activists here that's really heavy duty on the mortgage industry. He's helping hundreds of people in fighting the mortgage and kind of highlighting a lot of stuff that's going on. His name's Jon Stewart. And he has a trial. There's a picture of him at one of our meetings. He has a pretrial hearing tomorrow, and we'll be covering this and let you know what's going on. In 2008, during the height of the Ron Paul Revolution and so on, around the Super Bowl time, he was attacked in his car. A guy reached in and was beating him. Beating him, and a firearm was discharged, shot the guy in the head, boom, dead. Well, now they're prosecuting him for murder when a guy that what was interesting about this story, this guy would blog how he liked, and they have all this evidence, they're trying to keep it out of the trial and so on, but he gets all roided up. He's a bodybuilder and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I love to just beat the crap out of people and go drinking and doing that. But exactly what he did. There was a traffic thing he didn't like. He was drunk. He was, had a really high content of alcohol because it was when the Super Bowl and the Phoenix Open was here. And he was at a Phoenix Open party, and John and his girlfriend were putting up Ron Paul signs. They stopped. He went to a stoplight. He just saw he was drunk. He was weaving around, so he just sped up, went around him, got in front of him, went, and there was a stoplight. Stopped. The guy just, I don't know, he's just enraged about whatever. Went over, reached in, and just started pounding John. This is all stipulated. This is not like a secret. During this, a firearm is discharged. The guy shot, dead, goes down. Well, come to find out, he had some interesting contacts and so on. So the prosecutor's office, they're going after him. Hadn't gone to trial yet. Keeps getting, John's representing himself a lot. He has, public defender and all, and it's just been going on and on and on and on. Well, we're like, we get this to trial. It'll be very interesting because we've been covering this case. If you go on, you just put Jon Stewart, STUART on Freedom's Phoenix, and you'll see all the coverage. Powell Gamble, senior editor, has been going to all the court hearings and so on, and I suspect he'll be going tomorrow. And they keep putting it off. They keep dragging it out. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with this because, he should have never been charged. It's just amazing. It's because they can. And they don't like John. He brings up all kinds of stuff, and I don't know if it's he's his own worst enemy or not. It's they want you to play the rules the way they want, but he's not, and they don't like it. And all this information is going to come out. And here on Freedom's Phoenix, we've been covering it. And I got an email exchange, a couple of emails from a journalism student at Arizona State University. Well, that's what they said. I don't know who these people are. And they said, we're covering this, and they were writing a paper, and we were just wondering how it is that you're the only one covering this. Why is it that you're doing all that? What's your interest? I go, because anybody can. I don't go down to the stuff and everything. Powell does. Some of the other activists do. They show up with signs and everything, let everybody know that they were interested in this. And, of course, he's given presentation. We talked about it. And so they're wanting to know how it is that we are covering this and no one else is. I'm like, that's a good question. It's very interesting, don't you think? You got a guy that already has shown a propensity for this. He starts pounding on you. Reaching in your vehicle. You're not even out of your vehicle. At a stoplight, pounding on you. I'm going to kill you and all this other stuff. And then he winds up dead. I'm like, what'd you think was going to happen or should have happened? Certainly, you're allowed to defend yourself, your life. There's another gentleman activist that comes down here. He's a hunting guide on the Colorado River. He was down just last month or two ago. The same thing happened to him. The guy pulled a gun on him, though. They were trying to charge him. Well, they finally, just last week, dropped all the charges because he had a gun on him, and he pulled it out, shot, and killed the guy 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. And you're going to charge, and they wanted to charge. They were looking for a way to do it. Well, they saw the buzzsaw they were going to run into, so prudence was overwhelmed them, and they decided not to do that. So John's case, this is tomorrow. So hopefully Mark Stevens will be able to have someone in and kind of give you the update on what happened with that. And maybe we'll set that up. But certainly when I come back, we'll talk about it. But you go on the site, Jon Stewart pretrial hearing for 2008 self-defense action this Tuesday. And it's on the front page. So that's what that's about. I wanted to talk about this one story here we have up there. A good friend of mine from a long, long time ago. He's kind of gone Glenn Becky. He's a truck driver. He's on the road a lot. He listens to the show, I'm sure, and goes on Freedom's Phoenix. And he sent me this video that is, from a conservative standpoint, it's like a Tea Partier that directs his efforts towards this anarchy bent. All these people, like none government, you don't care, and you're just bailing out kind of the revolutionaries. And it's really targeted towards it. You have to have a government, or who's going to protect your individual rights? That's what the Constitution is for. The Constitution is there to protect your individual rights. And if you didn't have that, who's going to protect your individual rights? Am I allowed to? Heck, the government's the one saying I can't. They're the ones taking them away. So I go, all right, as at a favorite, everybody gets to have their say. So I put it up for them, but I put up there a conservative view. And I'm past this. I don't see the government as a defender. They're a taker. And it's because they can't. Oh, my in-laws were in Tucson. They went to Tombstone with my wife. They've been kind of, doing the sightseeing tourist thing here in Arizona. They went to Tombstone, and they saw in the gift shop there a star, like a sheriff badge, and it said, shiny badge. So we got to get this. We got to get this. So they got me the shiny badge. I got my shiny badge, so they were very proud of themselves. They got that for me. So at least they're listening to the show that much. One of the other stories I wanted to make sure we talked about real quick is first default by, what does it say? First default caused by insanity if debt ceiling not raised, blah, blah, blah. They're on all the talk show circuit talking about President Barack Obama's chief economic advisor warned Sunday the impact on the economy would be catastrophic if Congress fails to raise the debt ceiling. This is not a game, Austin Goolsbee, chairman of the White House Council of Foreign Advisors, said. The debt ceiling is not something to toy with. It's not something to keep doing either. So they're between a rock and a very hard place. If they don't do QE 47 or whatever, it's all coming down. And it's going to come down anyway. The dollar's done. The more they keep printing, the more they devalue the dollar, nobody's going to want them. And then they start flooding back into the country from other countries and sovereignties that you've got a lot of investment in it, China, individuals. It's going to flood in. What did you see? The stock market shot up again. I mean, it opened like 100 points above. I mean, it's just, I hadn't even looked at it. This morning I was looking, I'm going, wow, gold and silver jumped up. We had this quantitative easing's coming. The stock market's going. We are near the end of something. I haven't, got chickens. We had fun with this. There was, the reason we did this, because we knew it was going to come down. It's going to come down to food. People are going to starve. All of a sudden, one day, there's not going to be food on the shelves, or it's going to be so expensive you cannot afford it. Do you have enough under your bed to get you through for a while, just to be able to get out? Well, now what are they doing? Napolitano has announced that they want to put checkpoints at every state border crossing. So let's say you got your stockpile of whatever on your trailer in the back of your RV, and you're heading to get your iris scanned. Whew. This is, I've just like you, I've been around this long time, since the late 80s. I've heard everybody screaming about, the sky is falling, apocalypse, and Y2K, and we're gonna. And, so in my mind, as a young activist, I'm going, yeah, that's not going to happen until this. And that'll never until all the untils, it's until time. It won't happen all at once, but it will happen overnight. Well, that night's coming, and it's closer than I think people think. A lot of people are also talking about, it's into the Mayan calendar. Lord knows what happens then. Oh, but we got this one thing. Goldman Sachs just bought Facebook. by investing $450 million in Facebook at a $50 billion valuation and helping Facebook raise as much as another $1.5 billion, as the New York Times reported. Goldman Sachs got a little extra cash. It's now in the driver's seat to eventually take Facebook public. Yeah, Goldman Sachs and Facebook. We're going to space. Government's not invited to get our own satellites. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? This is, humanity marches on. We just got to survive this thing, whatever this thing is. I don't know. Pretty soon we're going to have, like thousands of birds and hundreds of thousands of fish just dying on the beach, falling out of the sky. What happens when the birds just start falling out of the sky? Maybe we ought to pay attention. You think?